Hey everyone, I'm back. It's Tuesday night around 8 o'clock. So I'm back to read another Choose Your Own Adventure. This one is called Roller Star. It's written by Edward Packard. And it's Choose Your Own Adventure number 136. Here's a closer look at the cover. Okay, and I'll read the back. You're the star. 15 exciting endings. Join the inline skating craze. You've been totally into inline skating since you joined a club called the Streaks. When one of your teachers announces that he's going to coach the club, some of the other Streaks think it sounds like a drag and decide to drop out. You like the fun and freedom of being a Streak, but you know you're probably going to need some real training if you want to be a blading star. What will you do? If you stay on the school team, turn to page 49. If you decide just to keep practicing with your friends, turn to page 108. Choose carefully. The Streaks are great skaters, and hanging out with them is a lot of fun. But can they help you fulfill your dream of being the best? What happens next in the story? It all depends on the choices you make. How does the story end? Only you can find out. And the best part is you can keep reading and rereading until you've had not one, but many incredibly daring experiences. Hey Rob, yeah, the Streaks, that's what they're called. We're going streaking, everybody. Yep. On the quad. Yep. Valerie snorted. I think Valerie did snort derisively when I said the Streaks. Pretty sure that was her that you heard.
I snort for application.
Well, that's true. All right, and here's the same kids that they love Choose Your Own Adventure books, as usual, and teachers that say they've read and reread, worn thin, loved, loaned, bought for others, and donated to school libraries are Choose Your Own Adventure books. The Streaks is better than the Skid Marks. That's true. That was their original name, and they decided to change it. All right. And there's some illustrations here, illustrated by Ron Wing. All right. This was originally published June 1993, so a bit more recent than some of the other ones. Oh, hi, Sue. All right. So cover art is by Catherine Huerta, and the interior illustrations are by Ron Wing. Warning! Do not read this book straight through from beginning to end. These pages contain many different adventures that you may have as you try to skate your way to victory as a roller star. From time to time, as you read along, you'll have a chance to make a choice. After you make your decision, follow the instructions to find out what happens to you next. Being an inline skating champion will take hard work and dedication. You'll have to build up your strength, stamina, and agility, and spend a lot of time practicing. Along the way, people may try to discourage or even sabotage your efforts, but if you have what it takes to be a true champion, nothing's going to stop you. To help you in your training, a glossary of inline skating terms is included on the next page. Good luck. And there's all these people having lots of fun doing inline skating. You can tell that they don't think it's a drag. Or maybe it's kind of a drag. Hey, Stephanie. when rollerblades became a thing. Did you know that I was in a club girl called the Pink Streaks? Pink Streaks. Pink Streaks. Yeah, this is like when he did that book about skateboarding. Oh, hi, Caroline. Is Derby? I'm not sure actually if it's Derby or not. So it'll be a surprise. Here's a glossary. Cross training, varying your training by working out in another sport. For example, biking is a good form of cross training for skating. It is, okay. Drafting, reducing wind resistance by skating so close behind another person that you're in his or her wind shadow. Heel brake. Unlike conventional roller skates, inline skate brakes are at the heel. You tilt the leading foot back and apply pressure on the heel brake to slow your motion. Metric references. like we need a definition for what metric references are. Oh boy. In sports as well as in science, it's important to become familiar with the metric system, the international standard. For example, you should know that a 10-kilometer race is about 6.2 miles, and that high-performance 76mm wheels are about 3 inches in diameter. Power stop, an advanced method of stopping by applying the front foot sideways at a sharp angle. This is unsafe unless taught by an expert. Rockering, raising the front and rear wheels of your skates so that you can rock on them. This is helpful for pivoting and quick turns and is used mainly by hockey players. T-stop, braking by dragging your trailing foot at right angles to the lead foot, applying pressure on the inner edge of the wheels. Hopefully that's the only glossary page. It is, yeah. I don't see any derby terms here. Yeah, maybe it's no derbying. Sorry. Maybe there's another book that's roller derby. A new school year has begun, and all anyone can talk about is inline roller skating. Almost overnight, inline skates replaced old-fashioned roller skates. They look better, are faster, and maneuver more accurately. Now, a lot of kids who used to bike to school skate there instead. The day after school starts, you notice that someone has posted a list of clubs and organizations that students can join. This year, the list includes 2 new skating clubs. One is taught by a coach for kids just getting started and is called the Dolphins. The other is for advanced skaters and is called the Streaks. Billy Kleiber, captain of the Streaks, is the best skater in school. Over the summer, your cousin Danny gave you a pair of skates he'd outgrown, and you've spent a lot of time on them during the last couple of months. Now you're eager to join one of the school clubs and do some serious skating. The question is, which one should you join? Since you just started skating a few months ago, you should probably learn the basics by joining the Dolphins. But the members of the Streaks are some of the coolest kids in school, and you're sure that they'd be lots of fun to hang out with. And you've done enough practicing on your own that you're fairly sure you could get in. And here we are. First day back in school. And a poster saying, join the Streaks today. And another poster saying, Dolphins. Right. If you decide to join the Dolphins, turn to page 2. If you think you're ready to join the Streaks, turn to page 35. I'm sure they are not the coolest kids. Start really struggling to see where the conflict is going to come in. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, we have had terrible luck with dolphins in these books, Rob, I agree. Or like, we think the dolphins are going to show us some stuff. Yeah, this is like exactly the same book, except it's totally different, Rachel. This time it's inline skating, not skateboarding. Should we join the Streaks? We are ready? Yeah, we're ready, right? We're ready. We got what it takes. Page 35. The beginner class doesn't sound like much fun. You're sure you're good enough to join the Streaks. You know something about skating, and you'll learn the rest along the way. Before you are allowed to join the Streaks, Billy Kleiber, their leader, says he wants to see how good you are. You meet him that afternoon so he can watch you skate down the sidewalk across from school. Okay, Billy says. Skate down the sidewalk, hop the curb, cross the street, jump the other curb, and then skate back toward me. You skate along the sidewalk, wishing you'd practiced more. The curb is coming up fast. You glance right and left. A pickup truck and a couple of cars are at the stoplight half a block away. When the light changes, they'll be accelerating down the road. You know that to satisfy Billy, you're going to have to jump off the curb. You don't want to take it too fast and risk losing control. If that happens, you could be hit by a car. On the other hand, if you go too slow, your skates could nose over the curb and spill you on your face. You're almost to the curb. The light changes, and the cars start to move. Come on, Billy yells right behind you. Are you streak material or aren't you? If you decide to take it fast, turn to page 40. If you decide to take it slow, turn to page 18. You don't want to take it too fast. Let's take it too fast. Go for it. Beat the cars. It's like West Side Story with the preteen rollerblading boys. Rollerboarding, what's that? So fast? Okay. Let's take it fast. You take a deep breath and skate even harder, trying to pick up enough speed to fly off the curb. You take off, remembering to keep your weight forward and your knees bent. Making a perfect landing, you glide toward the other side of the road. A car honk blares in your ears as you accelerate. You hear a screech of tires as the car brakes and swerves to avoid you, almost hitting another car coming from the opposite direction. You're almost at the other side. The curb is just ahead. You take off and land squarely on the sidewalk, braking to a stop beside Billy Kleiber. You glance back. The car that almost hit you has accelerated down the road. There we are. Not looking too good. Looks like we're about ready to collapse and die on the sidewalk. And then we died. When you're a streak all the way. From your first knee pad so your face smashes into a car. Fast, please, and furious. We are obviously struggling here. All right, page. Go on to the next page. Billy is shaking his head. You should have waited. You almost got killed, he says. Why did you yell at me to come on? He slaps your back. You've got to think for yourself, my friend. But you'll learn. Welcome to the Streaks. And then we know we're in the Streaks now because there's a picture of a pair of rollerblade shoes, or whatever they're called. All right, turn to page 90. We're in now. Collapsing and dying sounds like an excellent choice. Hazing, mind games. Page 90. Welcome to the Streaks. During the next few months, your skating improves tremendously. After a while, you and the other Streaks start practicing what Billy calls cross-city racing. You learn how to skate with a swift, sure motion, and brake fast with a T-stop that turns into a 360-degree turn. Jumping curbs and skating backward becomes second nature to you. You're beginning to feel so comfortable on skates, it seems there's nothing you can't do. One day the following March, you come to school and see a couple of your fellow Streaks, Rick Greeley and Donna Rossini, standing just inside the front entrance. They're wearing long faces. "What's up, gang?" you call out. "It's Billy," Rick says. "He wiped out skating down the library steps and fractured his kneecap." "They operated on him last night," Donna says. "His mother told me he'll be on crutches with a cast for 3 months. And no more skating for this year at least. Maybe never." Go on to the next page. That afternoon, Miss Rothschild, the principal of your school, calls all the Streaks into her office. Mr. Manfred, the school science teacher, is there too. He is the coach of the beginning skaters group, the Dolphins. "From what I've heard about your group, this sort of thing was bound to happen," Miss Rothschild says. "The way you've been skating down the streets, jumping curbs, running red lights, we're just lucky that Billy's accident wasn't a lot worse." Kids sure did used to just run around the neighborhood, yep. Yeah, holy crap. Billy, back off, lady. You can't tell me what to do. Page 43. We're just lucky his accident wasn't worse. Miss Rothschild holds up a forefinger. "From now on, the Streaks will be supervised by Mr. Manfred. He was captain of his college hockey team, and I imagine he can teach you all a few things about skating, especially about safety and courtesy. The first meeting will be next Thursday in the science lab after school. I expect you all to be there." "Is that an order?" Sam Perkins asks. "No, it's not an order," says Miss Rothschild sternly. but Mr. Manfred plans to form an official school skating team. If you want to skate around here, you join his team and you follow his rules, okay? Everyone nods. I hope to see you all Thursday, Mr. Manfred says. We can learn a lot and have a lot of fun if you're all willing. Okay, that's it, Miss Rothschild says. You can go now. We can all have a lot of fun. Safely. Stay safe, kids. First rule of the skate team is meet in the science lab. It's going to be footloose on inline skates. No, I don't. Mr. Manfred? I mean, the guy's name doesn't. I mean, that's like the uncoolest name. You and the other streaks file out of the office and stand around in the hall talking for a few minutes. This is a bummer, Donna says. Mr. Manfred is such a drip. You start to say something, but Sam interrupts. Maybe he'll be a good coach, though. I mean, he was captain of his college hockey team. It's hard to believe that when you look at him, Rick says. Are you going to stay in the club? Jenny Hunter asks you. I don't know, you say with a shrug. I guess I'll give it a try. It's going to be a drag, believe me, Rick says. Let's form our own team outside of school instead. Well, then we wouldn't get Mr. Manfred's coaching, you say. Rick gives you a scornful look. You mean learning about safety and courtesy, he says sarcastically. Forget it. We don't need him. Most of the others nod. You can tell they agree with Rick. You're tempted to join his group. If you stay with the school club, turn to page 49. If you join Rick Greeley's group, turn to page 108. I know, Rick's cool. He's like, we don't need him. Who needs safety? Bogus, heinous, most non-triumphant. Like, who was saying that things were a drip back in the early 90s? Who was talking that way about things being a drag or a drip? Come on. What's up, fellow kids? Rick is so cool. Yeah, so we're going to join Rick's outlaw skater group, right? Totally. Yeah, go with the cool kids. All right. Page 108. The following Saturday, you and 4 other streaks meet at Rick Greeley's house. Okay, he says, we're going to become the best. We're going to be able to outrace Mr. Manfred's school team any day. Where are we going to do our training? Don asks. We could practice in the park, you say. Why go to the park? Let's skate down to the video arcade at the Westwood Mall, Sam says. That could be our practice for today. Sounds good to me, Rick says. The others nod. Everyone puts on his or her skates and takes off. You're the last to get laced up. You start after the others, but you're not in any hurry to catch up. You have a feeling that the streaks aren't going to become much of a team if their idea of training is skating to the video arcade. That's okay, you think. We'll have a lot of fun. That's what counts after all. The end.
What?
We're just having fun at the video arcade that we all go to as kids, because we go to video arcades. The nerdy kids who read more than they talk to humans. Exactly. Talked about things being a drag. We're still using that slang? Yeah, about things being a drag? Yeah, the ending was like pretty abrupt. Alright, maybe we'll train with the school club then. I mean, it would be nice to go to the mall. Man, I wouldn't want to go to the mall now. I'd want to go back in time and be like a teenager again and go to the mall as a teenager. Look at all the video games and video game systems that I couldn't afford. All right, so we'll join the official team. You decide it might not be such a bad idea to put safety first, especially considering how seriously Billy was injured. The following Thursday, you and 6 other streaks sit in Mr. Manfred's science lab, waiting for him to arrive. I wonder why we're meeting here instead of outside. Maybe we have to learn some extra science before he'll even let us skate, Mark Hoffert says. That's what I'm afraid of, you say. Everyone laughs. Just then, Mr. Manfred walks in. Glad to have such a happy group, he says. I'm feeling happy today, too. This is an historic occasion, the formation of the first team in a new sport at our school. He beams at everyone. And it's going to be a championship team, if I have anything to say about it. I intend for you kids to be the best. Okay, Jenny says, let's go out and get started. We're starting right here, Mr. Manfred says. If we're going to be the best, we have to approach this scientifically. I want you to learn the physics of skating. Jenny leans towards you and rolls her eyes. Boring, she whispers. Yeah, this guy's already super lame. The extra science skating carrot. We just need to do some extra science and learn physics. Before you can start to skate, I'm going to teach you a physics course. It's going to be so cool. And that you can tell that guy's cool, this Mr. Manfred. Yeah, he's hip. He's cool. Objects in motion tend to stay in motion unless acted upon by an opposing force. Page 113. Today we're going to learn about Isaac Newton. Oh my god, your body knows physics already, it's fine. Boring. Okay, quiet down everyone, Mr. Manfred says. This will only take a few minutes. We're going to start off with a little quiz. Just one question, actually. Get out a pencil and paper. I want you to write down your answer and your reason for it. Ready? Ready, says Mark. Okay, the question is, would you weigh more on top of the highest mountain in the world than you would in Denver, Colorado? Would you weigh less? Or would you just weigh the same? How are we supposed to know that? Jenny asks. Jenny says, you're supposed to think of the answer, and don't forget to put down your reason. You glance around at the others as you try to decide what to write. No one seems to know the answer to Mr. Manfred's question. The teacher sighs. Come on, team. Think. Don't give up. As soon as we finish this, we'll go outside. I don't know. Do we weigh less? I didn't come here to learn. I'm sorry, Rachel. Liked it better when cars were killing us. Cars don't make me think. It hurts, but the pain is soon over. The pain of learning never stops. Except there's always more to learn. Wish the learning would just stop. You close your eyes and think even harder. Two ideas come to you. One is that you'd weigh more in Denver because you'd be closer to the Earth's center of gravity. The other is that you'd weigh more on top of the mountain because you'd have the weight of the mountain pulling you down as well as the weight of the Earth underneath. You chew on your pencil and try to decide what to write. If you guess that you'd weigh more in Denver, turn to page 50. If you guess that you'd weigh more on top of the world's highest mountain, turn to page 83. I don't know. Let me demonstrate an object in motion staying in motion by skating directly at a car. Yeah, the weight of the mountain is not weighing you down. Yeah, we would weigh less on top of the mountain. I like Chris's science teacher advice. Thank you. I'm just thinking, the voice I'm thinking of is from that the movie Wayne's World, where they had that announcer who was like, "Party on Wayne and party on Garth." He's like trying to be cool, but he's like super uncool. All right, the first one's right. Yeah, I guess we'll go with the first one. Way more in Denver. But do we want to be right? I guess we do want to be right, yeah. Rachel refuses to answer this question on principle. Mr. Manfred collects the papers and reads off everyone's answers. You're the only one who wrote down your reason. when he gets to your answer, he says. So, you think you'd weigh more in Denver because you'd be closer to the Earth's center of gravity? You nod. Well then, let me ask you. Suppose you were only 100 miles from the center of the Earth. Would you weigh more there than on the surface? I don't think so, you say. Why? Because the part of the Earth over you would be pulling you up almost as much as the part of the Earth under you would be pulling you down. That's right. So it's not enough to say that you'd be closer to the Earth's center of gravity. Mr. Manfred, may I ask a question? Jenny says. Sure. When are we going outside? Right now, he says. Get your skates and equipment and follow me. He starts out of the room. Everyone cheers, including you, though you're feeling a little disappointed. He never explained the answer. This guy is lame. I hate this teacher. Wait, is that right though? I don't know. He didn't give us the answer. Still didn't tell us. Alright, turn to page 59. There we are. During the weeks ahead, you and the others on the team work out every day after school. Mr. Manfred coaches you on improving your technique. It's hard work, and he insists on giving one of his physics lessons before every session. He says skating relies on Newton's laws of motion, and that you need to learn what they are. You learn all about inertia, acceleration, and friction. You're not sure all that knowledge will make you skate better, but you and the other kids agree that, odd as he is, Mr. Manfred is worth putting up with. He inspires you to get in the best possible physical condition and teaches you to get off to a fast start, stride smoothly and evenly, turn with ease and style, and make quick, fast stops. You're all learning so much and having so much fun that you convince Rick Greeley and the others in his club to rejoin the rest of the streaks on Mr. Manfred's team. One Saturday, the team holds a practice 10-kilometer run in the school parking lot. Mr. Manfred has figured out that the distance is the same as 31 circuits of the lot. He starts the race and then stands near the finish line, urging all of you on each time you come around. You come in second, just a few yards behind Rick. Afterward, Mr. Manfred tells everyone what time he or she clocked. And here we are. Well, I guess that's Mr. Manfred. He sounds like he's scared that we're about to skate into him or something, but he's holding up his watch. Mr. Manfred is not worth putting up with. Yeah, Edward Packard, I don't know, maybe he does want us to be cool, but he doesn't know what it's like to be cool. I don't think he ever was cool in his life. Right. Turn to page 72. Okay, he says. That was a good race. I can tell you've all been working hard, and you've learned a lot. But a year from now, we'll be more than ready to compete with teams from other schools. We're going to learn, and we're going to win, and we're going to be champions. Everyone cheers. To make sure everyone gets the feeling of being a leader, you all get a chance to take turns being team captain. He takes a step towards you and lays a hand on your shoulder. Since you've shown the most improvement, I'm making you our first captain of the month. You go home that night feeling good. At your practice 2 days later, Mr. Manfred starts off by telling you that he has an announcement to make. Some of you may have heard of Roller Camp, he says. They have the best inline skating program in the country. I saw a show about it on television last month, Cindy Paterno says. Those coaches are fantastic. All former college stars, says Mr. Manfred. Well, Mr. Andrew Villard, a wealthy graduate of this high school, has offered a sum of money to send to one or two of our most promising inline skaters to roller camp. This is a real chance for someone to become a champion. How much money did he give? Jenny asks. Turn to page 60. Stop touching the kids, Mr. Manfred. We improved the most? I guess so. Turn to page 60. Other kids start asking questions too, but Mr. Manfred stops them with an upraised hand. He hasn't given it yet. Mr. Villard asked me who my two best skaters were. I told him that one of them is Rick Greeley, and the other is our captain of the month here. He grins at you. The other kids look a little downcast, but you know that they can't be surprised. After all, you and Rick came in first and second in the 10-kilometer race. Mr. Manfred, I don't understand, you say. Did he offer enough money to send 1 or 2 kids to camp? The teacher smiles the way he does when he's about to give one of his physics tests. So to answer that question, I have to tell you first that Mr. Villard has set a rather odd condition on the gift. But a good one in a way, I think. Okay, Mr. Manfred, you say. Give it to us straight. All right. Here's the way it works. You and Rick sit at opposite ends of the room. When I say so, you each write something on a piece of paper, fold it, and hand it to me. You and Rick take the seats Mr. Manfred indicates. Okay, Coach, what do we write? I'm just getting to that, Mr. Manfred says. All you have to write on your sheet of paper is one word, either apple or orange. Okay? Roller Camp sounds like a great premise for a teen movie. Wasn't there a movie called Roller Ball? Of like the future when they're all like on roller skates and stuff? Yeah, he's making us fake compete for a scholarship. Yeah, they'd also definitely power tripping here. I don't know which one it is. Is it apple or orange? It's like comparing apples to oranges. Page 110. Mr. Manfred straight up sucks. I'll bet like both of us can go and he's gonna like pocket the rest of the money for himself. How do we know which one to write, you ask? Listen carefully, Mr. Manfred points at you. If you write down apple and Rick writes down apple, you'll both get to go to roller camp. If you write down apple and Rick writes down orange, you don't get to go to roller camp. And Rick does, and he also gets $5,000. If you write down orange and Rick writes down orange, neither of you gets anything. If you write down orange and Rick writes down apple, then you alone get to go to roller camp, and you get a prize of $5,000. Do both of you understand? I'll go over it once more. Make notes so you can keep it straight. Mr. Manfred repeats the instructions. Then he says, You've got 5 minutes to decide what to write on the paper. This is an awfully strange test, you think. You take your time trying to decide what to write. If both you and Rick both write down apple, you'll both get to go to camp. That means that Rick will probably write down apple. If he does, and you write down orange, you'll not only get to go to the camp, but you'll also get a $5,000 prize. That's an awful lot of money. On the other hand, if you and Rick both write down orange, neither of you gets anything. God. Wait, why are all the other kids in class? Like what's the point of that? If neither of you get to go to camp, then all the other kids are supposed to laugh at you and tell you that you suck. Okay. What the fuck is that? I don't know. This is abusive. He's a shitty person. This is like a prisoner experiment. Write down banana. Write down banana. That means all the kids got. You discovered the secret. Now all of you get to go to roller camp. Turn to page 57. Oh. You can't seem to think straight. You're feeling a little angry at Mr. Manfred, and at Andrew Villard too. They shouldn't be putting you through this. The whole thing is unfair. 2 minutes left, Mr. Manfred says. If you're a second late writing down the word, you're disqualified. 2 minutes. You go over your options again, trying to guess what Rick will do. 1 minute, Mr. Manfred says. Don't wait until the last second. You know you're not going to get any new ideas at this point. You glance over at Rick, wondering once again what he's going to write down. For a second you catch his eye. You're tempted to wink at him. You're also tempted to stand up and protest the unfairness of this game. If you decide to wink at Rick and then write down apple, turn to page 87. If you wink at Rick and then write down orange, turn to page 71. If you write down apple without winking, turn to page 69. If you write down orange without winking, turn to page 97. If you stand up and refuse to play, turn to page 66. The prisoner's dilemma, but for kids. Eat the piece of paper. Write down, I'm calling child services, Mr. Manfred. I just want to wink at Rick. Refuse. Right, but do you wink at Rick and write down apple? Or do you wink at Rick and write down, or do you either wink at Rick and write down apple, or do you wink at Rick and write down orange? Or just refuse? Yeah, just about everyone's saying refuse. Okay, refuse. You throw down your pencil and stand up. I'm not going to play this game, you tell Mr. Manfred. It's stupid and unfair. Everyone looks surprised, especially Rick Greeley. Well, all right, Mr. Manfred says. I'm going to have to call Mr. Villard and see what he says. A few minutes later, he comes back, a grim look on his face. Mr. Villard was disappointed that you didn't want to play. He says you were wrong in thinking his proposal was stupid. He wanted to be generous, but he became very annoyed when he heard that one of you refused to participate. He says it soured him on the whole idea, and he's decided to call off the contest. You lunkhead, Rick says, glaring at you. Lunkhead yourself, you answer half-heartedly. You feel bad that you ruined the contest. Enough of that, Mr. Manfred says. It's time to get out and start practice. You mean that's the end of it, Rick says? Sam asks. Mr. Manfred has already started towards the door. That's the end of it, he says over his shoulder. Here we are. Angry, scowling look on her face. I'm not doing this. This is stupid. And then Mr. Manfred's like, stupid is as stupid does. And then he starts walking out the door. All the kids are shocked. Here's that one kid in the corner. He's like, oh my God. Can't believe you did that. Mr. Villard is a huge lunkhead. I thought it was supposed to be about skating, but surprise, it's about shitty adults. Yep. I don't know. Should we wink and write apple? Yeah, Mr. Villard is a lunkhead. He's just like, so he became rich? Maybe he was like teased at school or something, or had like a chip on his shoulder because of high school, and like now he's like doing this to like somehow think he's like getting back at the students that made fun of him. He's obviously got some issues that he has not resolved and needs therapy. So we'll wink and write apple. Try that. Okay. We don't want to do it. I don't like it. I don't like it any more than you do. You wink at Rick and write down apple, hoping that Rick will do the same. Mr. Manfred takes your papers and reads them. You chose apple, he says to you. And so did you, Rick. That means you'll both get to go to roller camp. You and Rick cheer. The other kids clap and congratulate the two of you, though they're obviously disappointed not to be included. I'll go call Mr. Villard and tell him the results, Mr. Manfred says. Back in a minute. Okay, Coach, Rick says. When he returns, Mr. Manfred has a big grin on his face. Good news for all, he says. Mr. Villard was so happy that you both wrote apple that he's going to send the whole team to roller camp. Everyone cheers. Wow, he must be really rich, Rick says when the room quiets down. He sure is, Mr. Manfred says. Last I heard, he was worth over $40 million. Wow, $40 million. Wow, this guy's a big shot dude. And he loves manipulating little kids. He's so cool. Man. Supposed to, like, raise their hopes and then dash them? This guy's great. Mind games. Yay, but also ugh. Yeah. This book is teaching terrible, terrible lessons that I'm sure we somehow, like, absorbed without realizing it. I've had to spend years, like, unlearning. A couple of months later, you and the other streaks arrive at roller camp in High Valley, California. The place seems more like a school than an ordinary camp, except that there are about 3 times as many boys as there are girls. Okay. The campers are assigned to dormitories in a college that's not in session over the summer. You hardly have time to sign in, get your gear stowed, and introduce yourself to some of the other kids before you have to hustle over to a classroom where Kip Johnson, the camp director, is waiting to greet you. Once everyone is seated, Kip vaults over the professor's desk and sits with his feet dangling over the edge. He's wearing a t-shirt and khaki shorts, and he has the most muscular legs you've ever seen. That's not surprising, since you know he won a silver medal in speed skating in the Olympics. Hi, Valley. Rachel, are you related to Kip? These shady interactions with these adult men are strange to now want to give them money after playing weird mind games. Super great. We're learning some great lessons here, kids. Welcome to roller camp, Kip begins. You're about to become the best trained, best coached inline skaters in America. Some of you will have a shot at the International Gold Cup in a few years. And if inline skating becomes an Olympic sport, I'm willing to bet that one or both of you will be on the U.S. team. How are you going to reach that goal? He pauses to look around the room for a moment. Well, there are a lot of factors involved in becoming a champion, but I'll tell you the 3 most important things. Training, training, and training. You'll be doing aerobics and strengthening your body. You'll be learning to keep your equipment in top shape. You'll be learning to skate as efficiently as possible, so every bit of your energy is translated into speed. And here we are at roller camp. Kip's giving us the lowdown, how to be a roller champ. Tell there's 3 times as many boys in here as there are girls. Totally. That's just one thing. That's just one thing 3 times, Kip. Roller camp is one word with a capital C. I feel the need for speed. Kip continues to talk like this, but your mind starts to wander. This guy sure is a fanatic. You wonder if there's going to be any fun at this camp, or if it's going to be all work. Then, as if he's been reading your mind, Kip says, some of you may be wondering, are we going to have any fun here at roller camp, or is it just going to be all work and no play? I have a very simple answer to that question. If you like to win, if you like being the best, if you'd like the chance to be famous and make some money, then this summer is going to be the most fun you've had in your life. But if you don't care much about these things, and if you think it's going to be too much work, then you're not going to have fun, and you're not going to become the great skater either. So if there's anyone here who feels that way, I suggest you pack up your gear and head home right now. I would respect that decision. It makes a lot more sense than hanging around here complaining and being miserable, because I'm going to expect 110% participation from everyone who stays, and 110% commitment to being the best. He pauses and looks around. How about it, group? Anyone want out? If you decide to quit, turn to page 82. If you decide to stay at camp, turn to page 86. All work and no play makes Kip just about like every other adult in this book. So we pack up? Or do we decide to stay at camp? I decided to stay so I could beat Kip. Stay. Definitely a quitter. All right. I guess we're staying. Stay. Sue says also stay. 86. A few kids decide to quit, including your friend Jenny from the Streaks, but you and most of the others decide to stay. During the weeks ahead, you train and race almost non-stop. Some of these practice races are sprints, while others are 5 or 10 kilometers long. After a couple of weeks, you have your first big trial run over a 15-kilometer course. Kip patrols the course in an electric car. aiming his camcorder on one skater after another. That evening, you all watch the videos of the day's practice, while Kip explains what each racer is doing right and wrong. As the weeks go by, you can feel yourself getting stronger and faster, and you know you're definitely skating a lot better. You can do power stops and quick 360-degree turns without even thinking about it. Kip holds time trials once a week. You and Sam Perkins finish among the leaders every time, and the other streaks nearly always finish in the first half of the pack. One evening, when the summer is about halfway over, Kip calls everyone into a meeting. Turn to page 114. I'm still Jenny from the streaks. Can't believe Jenny quit. It's all the roids that we're taking. You're right. You feel yourself getting just stronger. You don't know why. And keep injecting those sweet, sweet roids to get so strong. You wonder why his legs are so muscular. You know it's because of all the roids he's been taking. Yeah, now there's only 3 girls. I have an important announcement to make, Kip says. Kip begins. The National Inline Skating Championship 15-kilometer cross-country race will be held 3 weeks from today in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Roller Camp will pay for one of our skaters to participate. We'll have our own 15-kilometer race in 2 weeks. The winner will get the Roller Camp trophy and will represent us in the championship race. The next day, Kip drives everyone over the 15-kilometer course in the camp bus. The road runs for 8 kilometers beside a level meadow. Then it climbs steeply for a while, curving through the woods. After that, it flattens and circles part of the lake. It climbs and curves again before leveling out into a straight stretch leading to the finish line. Kip stands up in the side of the bus as it heads back to camp. The course you've just seen is similar to the one that we'll be using for the national championship, he says. If you can win on this course against this group of competitors, you'll have a shot at the big one. These words inspire you to work even harder. You want to win. You must win. You will win. Hope we have a prisoner's dilemma again, figuring out who will win the national championship. May the odds ever be in your favor. Only one of you can go. Here's a gun with 5 bullets. During the next 2 weeks, you train hard every day, pacing yourself with other skaters, alternating sprints with slow, long-distance workouts, sometimes taking bike rides for cross-training. You work on gaining efficiency while striding uphill and on keeping control by coasting downhill. The day before the race, you let your muscles rest, loosening up with a slow, relaxed 20-minute workout. You've been dreaming of winning ever since Kip first mentioned the championship, but when you wake up on the morning of the race and look across the sun-streaked lawn outside your window, you realize you'll be lucky to come in third. 2 skaters, Ev Wilson and Andy Laredo, are definitely faster than you. You try not to think about that, though. One of Kip's favorite phrases is, when you go into a race, plan to win. Glancing at the clock, you see that you've overslept. You'd better get a move on. You're going to be late for breakfast. On the way out of the dorm, you look down the hall and you see Ev Wilson coming out of Andy Laredo's room, a screwdriver in his hand. Well, at least I won't be the last one to breakfast, you think? What, do you stab him with a screwdriver? He won't be in the race anymore. Took care of him. Turn to page 46. All my workouts are slow and relaxed. Very relaxed. It's sitting. My workouts are just sitting. Do it for Kippy. That's what Kippy wants. He wants us to win. A few minutes before noon that day, you line up with the other campers at the starting line on Saddleback Road. The police have closed the road to cars. Spectators line both sides of the road near the starting line. You're given a position near the middle of the pack. You take a few deep breaths and check your skates one last time. Then you take your starting position. In a 15-kilometer race, a good start is helpful, but not as important as it is in a sprint. "Stand by," the starter calls. "Ready. Skaters, take your mark." The starting gun goes off, and you lunge forward. You stride ahead until you've settled into a comfortable third-place position, then ease up a little. You try to relax and set an even pace for the long, level stretch ahead. Jeff Mason, the skater on your right, has taken first place and seems determined to stay there. You move up and slip in behind him, letting him block the wind. That way, you're using less energy to skate, and when he tires, you can move ahead of him and take the lead. Go on to the next page. About 1.5 kilometers into the race, Jeff seems to be slowing down a bit. 3 other skaters, including Andy Laredo, slip by on your left. Before you know it, they've taken a 20-yard lead. Jeff steps up his stride a bit and pulls up again on the leaders. You have a feeling he's going to burn himself out, but for the moment, you're in just the right place, drafting close behind him and conserving your energy. Turn to page 98. How come we didn't mention anything about that guy, with a screwdriver? It's it's probably nothing. People come out of other people's dorms with a screwdriver all the time. Nothing suspicious at all. I'll just keep that to myself. Oh, page 98. At the 2K mark, Jeff seems to be getting his second wind. He pours on more speed, pulls up with the leaders, and surges ahead of them, with you right behind him. As you pass the 3K mark, Jeff is still first, with you in second place. Andy Laredo is third. You don't even know where Ev Wilson is, but you soon find out. You sense someone coming up behind you and glance back. Ev is sprinting and has just moved into your wind shadow. Jeff keeps doggedly on, several strides ahead of a small pack of skaters to his left. He doesn't seem to mind that you and Ev are conserving your energy by skating in his shadow. The next 2 kilometers are more of the same. You don't like having Ev in your wind shadow, but there's not much you can do about it. And here we are, skating safely. You can see we've got pads and helmets and all of that stuff. Whenever Kip says, when you go into a race, plan to win, he hands you a screwdriver. This is how you win. Do whatever it takes. Don't kink shame. Wind shadow. Are they allowed to tackle in this race? I don't know. What, it was using the screwdriver in the glossary? I think the wind shadow was in the glossary. Go on to the next page. At 5 kilometers, with the race a third over, Jeff begins to fade. You and Ev slow down too, not willing to give up your positions. The group of skaters on your left moves forward. Jack Talbot takes the lead with Andy Laredo right behind him. Glancing over your left shoulder, you see another group of 3 skaters moving up. Right now, they're about 20 yards behind the leaders. Turn to page 78. You look forward again and see Ev Wilson pulling out on your right. He must have decided that Jeff was slowing down too much and that it was time to set his own pace. Watching him, you can really understand why he's one of the favorites to win the race. He looks intense and relaxed at the same time as he glides forward with a long, sure stride. Focused is what Kip once said about him. You decide that you'd better do some focusing yourself if you want to have a shot at beating him. You'd like to get close enough to Ev to get in his wind shadow, but he's setting a blistering pace. You'd have to sprint to catch him. Is it really worth it? You could just continue to hang behind Jeff for a little while longer and save your energy, or you could move over and join the pack of skaters on your left. With a little extra effort, you could probably get in someone else's wind shadow without dropping back. What's all this about getting into people's wind shadows? We seem to be obsessed with wind shadows. Maybe I can get into his wind shadow. I need a horse so I can call it Wind Shadow. It does sound like the name of a horse. I was thinking that. Sprint. So if you sprint ahead after Ev, turn to page 89. If you keep drafting behind Jeff, turn to page 116. If you move over and join the pack on your left, turn to page 101. We have to keep an eye on Jeff. It's pretty much like their fart zone. We call it the shadow. Call it their wind shadow. Their fart shadow. So sprint ahead after F. At Ev. Is it Eve? Ev? I don't know. Page 89. Sprint. Oh, 89. You sprint to catch up to Ev Wilson, anxious to get in his wind shadow if you can. He doesn't look around, but he must hear you coming behind, because he speeds up, increases his lead even more. You sprint as fast as you can, though you're using energy you want to save. Finally, you begin to gain as Ev eases off a bit. But now the long, level stretch of the course is almost over. The steepest hill in the course is just ahead. Ev starts up it, altering his stride to attack the hill. Still on the level, you gain on him rapidly. You pass the 8K sign at the base of the hill. The race is more than half over, and you're a close second. Not bad, you think. Then you hit the slope. Climbing isn't your strongest skill, and you're winded from trying to catch Ev. He pulls steadily away from you as he climbs. You glance over and see the pack of skaters to your left reach the base of the hill. Andy Laredo, who has been drafting behind the leader of the pack, pulls ahead and starts up the slope with a smooth, powerful stride. He passes you easily, and once again you realize that you'll be doing well to come in third. But Kip's words keep coming back to you. Race to win. You focus on smoothing your stride, tuning everything out of your mind except getting up this hill. Look how determined that face is. He's so determined. Wow. And there's the other people coming up behind. I wonder if it's short for Evan or Everett. Could be. Ev. Short. Oh, sorry. We didn't join the pack, Stephanie. We didn't get the wind shadow. So determined. Page 64. By the time you reach the top of the hill, 2 more skaters have passed you. Ev Wilson and Andy Laredo are almost out of sight around the next bend in the road. You can't help feeling a little disappointed in yourself. You skate your best for the rest of the race, but you don't have what it takes to catch the leaders. Ev Wilson finishes first. Andy Laredo has an accident and drops out, before other skaters come in ahead of you. Later, when you discuss your race with Kip, he says that you probably expended too much energy trying to catch Ev Wilson before you reached the foot of the hill. Don't be discouraged, Kip says. Next time you'll be stronger, and you'll have better technique, and you'll be a wiser skater. I know how good you can be. Keep working. You're going to be a roller star. The end. Well, maybe we should have stuck with the pack and gotten into their wind shadows. Well, bummer. Bummer, dudes. Well, there's still time. There's still time. Maybe we can move over and join the pack. Join the pack on our left. Join the pack. Seek the wind shadow. Let's try that this time. Seek the wind shadow. Page 101. You move out from behind Jeff and ease over to the left, slipping in Andy Laredo's wind shadow. He's skating in the middle of the pack. The skater who's leading your pack on the left seems to be straining. You have a feeling he'll drop back soon, and you start feeling more and more confident about your chances. There are only a couple of 100 yards to go until the steep uphill grade begins. Suddenly, Andy Laredo starts making his move. He strides off to the left, and then ahead so fast that you slip out of his shadow. You put on a burst of energy to try to catch up. You reach the position you want, and for the rest of the flat, you concentrate on maintaining a smooth, even stride. Ev is already halfway up the hill. Andy is still in second place, and you're third and feeling pretty good, taking short, strong strides up the slope. Third place wouldn't be bad, but you try not to think about that. I'm racing to win, you think. Must win. Turn to page 28. You're still third when you reach the top of the hill. You lengthen your stride and drive down the long, curving stretch along the lake. You try not to look back over your shoulder. You just want to concentrate on catching the leaders. As you pass the 11K mark, Ev is still first, but he's beginning to fade. Maybe you can beat him, but that doesn't mean you can beat Andy. You're not gaining on him at all, and he's gaining fast on Ev. By the time you pass the 13K mark, Ev is definitely slipping. You and Andy are gaining on him. 14K, only 1 kilometer to go. The road curves ahead. Ev strides smoothly around the bend. Andy swerves coming to the curve. One of his wheels has come off. Oh no! He flies through the air and smashes into a tree. He just lies there, not moving. Your first instinct is to rush to help him, but then you realize that the next pack of skaters will be here in half a minute. They don't have a chance to win the race, but you do. Maybe you should just let them help Andy. It's what you would do if you didn't have a shot at winning. These thoughts flash through your mind in an instant. You only have another instant to decide what to do. And there he is, smashing his face into a tree. Oh no! Do we have to help him? If you stop to help Andy, turn to page 107. If you keep on racing, turn to page 102. Did we stop to help him? We might lose the race if we do that. They'll help him. Stop, and also we know how his wheel fell off. Alright, we'll stop and help Andy. Well, we don't know how his wheel fell off. What do you mean? I have no idea. I didn't see anything. We didn't see anything, right? I have no idea. Unless we're a sociopath. We try to go and help him. You try to go and help him, but as you do, you hear Kip's words ringing in your ears. Must win. And you change your mind. Winning is all. This race is important to you, but it's not as important as Andy. You execute a power stop. In a second, you're beside him. He's unconscious, but you're glad to see that he's breathing. You yank away a stick that's jabbed into his side and brush some leaves away from his face. You can't tell if he has any broken bones, and you know it's best not to move him until help arrives. You'll be okay, you say into his ear. Medics are on the way. You glance over your shoulder. A couple of other skaters have stopped to help. 2 others race by towards the finish line. Those 2 are the sociopaths. Avoid them later. Half a minute later, Sue Johnson, Kip's wife, comes roaring up on her moped. She screeches to a stop, hops off, and kneels beside Andy, walkie-talkie in hand. Send the medics! We've had a crack-up just beyond the 14K mark. Andy Laredo. He's unconscious. A paramedic ambulance, on hand for the race, has been following the skaters. It arrives in less than 2 minutes. Just before it comes to a stop, you hear Andy's voice. Oh wow, what happened? He moans. You kneel beside him. Your wheel came off, Andy. But don't worry about that now. The medics are here. You're going to be okay. How does it take 2 minutes for the... If the ambulance has been there on hand for the race, why did it take 2 minutes? Oh, because it was like... Shouldn't it have been like following us like during the race and not... and not just like staying at the starting line? Yeah, crack up. He's hurt bad. You'll be okay. He pulls a branch out of his gallbladder. Gonna be fine. Kip has a wife. I tell you, it's those muscular legs. How come we didn't know about his wife before? Kind of came out of nowhere. After the ambulance takes Andy away, you search along the edge of the road until you find the missing wheel. You stare at it, wondering what made it come off like that. Riding the bus on the way to back to camp, an image pops into your mind of Elv Wilson leaving Andy's room this morning before breakfast. There was a screwdriver in his hand. Is it possible that he loosened a wheel on Andy's skates? How could he do such a thing? Ev doesn't seem like that kind of person. Still, you wonder if you should say something. There we are. A little bit too much shadowing there. It looks like we're like feeling sick or something. The screwdriver, Brainiac. What could it mean? Yeah, the ambulance was falling behind the last skaters, maybe? Maybe. It's 2 minutes, seems like a long time. He's unconscious. Take your time getting here. He'll be fine. Page 27. Because of Andy's concussion, the doctors have told him to take it easy for a few weeks. But the good news is that he's out of the hospital and back at camp. Yeah, you had a concussion. That's fine. Just rest a little, then back to camp. Keep at it. His wrist is in a cast, and he's scratched and bruised, but otherwise he seems just fine. There are only a couple of days left before camp ends for the summer, and you realize that you can't put off making a decision. Should you mention what you saw to Kip Johnson or to Andy? Should you confront Ev directly, or should you just mind your business? The real journey of this book is discovering why we are so dumb. I don't know why I'm so stupid. Oh, we're soaked with sweat. That's why we were in so much shadow. Tattle. Tell Kip what we saw? Should we? What if we just keep it to ourselves? Or confront Ev first and give him a chance to explain? Anyone else think we should tattle? They could have killed him. Yeah. They really could have. Confront Ev, but bring a screwdriver. I guess the right thing to do is just tell Kip what we saw. I would like to confront Ev and just see what happens, though. You confront Ev and he stabs you with the screwdriver. Where'd that come from? All right, I guess we'll tell Kip what we saw. Then we can become the champions because he'll get disqualified, and then we'll be number one and win. It's all about winning. You stop by Kip's office and tell him about seeing Ev leave Andy's room with a screwdriver the morning of the race. Kip listens to the whole story with a grave expression on his face. Don't tell anyone else about this, he says, but stay close by. I may need to talk to you later. A couple of hours later, Kip calls you back to his office. Ev and Andy are already sitting there. Neither of them looks at you as you sit down. Tell what you told me this morning, Kip says to you. You repeat your story. Turn to page 96. Did you know that Ev was in your room with a screwdriver just before breakfast? Kip asks Andy when you've finished. Andy shakes his head. I went to breakfast pretty early, and there was no one in my room when I got back. Was there anything different about your skates? Not that I noticed, but I checked them over pretty carefully the night before the race, so that morning I barely looked at them before I put them on. Kip looks over at Ev. Well, were you in Andy's room? If so, what were you doing there? Ev mumbles something, then blurts out, Okay, I loosened his wheel. I never thought he'd crack up, though. I just thought it would slow him down. That was something you had no right to assume, Kip says sternly. Ev hangs his head. Yeah, I guess you're right. He looks over at Andy. Hey, look, I'm really sorry. Really? Andy doesn't say anything. I'm glad you apologized, says Kip. Now, what else do you think should be done? I don't know, Ev mumbles. I think you do, Kip says. Okay, I guess I should be disqualified from the race. That's a good start, Kip says. The rest is up to Andy and his family. When the painful meeting is finally over, Kip asks you to stay for a while. Stay for a minute. Ev is disqualified, and Andy won't be recovering in time, so you're my nomination to compete in the national championship, he says. Wow, thanks, you say. But I didn't even come close to winning. What about the skaters who finished ahead of me? They didn't stop to help Andy, Kip says. That's why I think you're the one who deserves to go. In my book, you're already a real roller star. The end. You're a winner. Because you're not a sociopath. What else should we do? Pay for his medical bills? Well, that's up to them and their lawsuit. See you in court. What would happen if we confronted Ev? find that page. Huh. Where is that? Probably nothing would happen. You just say, nah. I didn't do nothing. You can't prove anything. And he'd be like, yeah, I guess you're right. What page is that? You know, I don't know what page that is. Confront Ev. Let's see what happens. Probably absolutely nothing. Should we try that? Yeah, sure. You knock on Ev's door. Come in, he calls. You open the door. I'd like to talk to you for a minute. What's up? I saw you coming out of Andy's room with a screwdriver the morning of the race. He reddens. So what? What were you doing there? What business is it of yours? Plenty. Andy's my friend. I was in the race. I care who goes in the national championship, especially if someone is going who doesn't deserve it. Hey, I was just checking to see if Andy wanted to go have breakfast with me. Do you usually take a screwdriver to breakfast? Ev steps towards you, his eyes narrowed. If you ever tell anyone about this, I'll break your neck. If you touch me, you'll be in a lot more trouble than you are now. You could still come out of this, but not by beating up on me. Go on to the next page. You! He picks up a book and starts to throw it at you. At the last second, he hurls it to the floor. Look, you say. I haven't told anyone else in camp yet. If you tell Kip the whole story yourself, instead of waiting until you're accused, it won't be so bad. Kip will respect that. Ev bites his lip. Get out of here, he shouts. You'll leave without saying another word. The next day, Kip calls a meeting to make a farewell speech and say goodbye to everyone. Ev must have followed your advice, because Kip says that Ev has been disqualified from the race and that the roller camp trophy has been awarded to Andy Laredo. Later you ask Andy what Kip told him. He said that Ev confessed to him about messing up my skates, and that he believes Ev is truly sorry. Even though Ev's been disqualified this year, he's invited back next year. Kip is determined to give him a second chance. Well, it's a shame what happened, you say. At least you got the roller camp trophy. I'm glad of that. You should get a trophy too, he says. You gave up your chance to win the race to stop and help me. You're a real roller star, pal. The end. And there's his first place trophy. Yeah, we're a real roller star, but not really we're not really the real roller star. Yeah, we definitely shouldn't have told Ev there were no other witnesses. No one else saw it, and I haven't told anyone yet. Oh, man. Well, why did they give the trophy to Andy Laredo if he was too injured to go to the championships in the other ending? So the other ending was definitely better. Yeah, I just want everyone in this to be gay. Yeah, we should always tattle. That's always the best policy. That's what the book wants us to do, tattle. See, I saw something. The trophy is different from the championship nomination. Oh, right. Okay, right. So, yeah. So who gets the championship then? I guess we don't get it, or they let us know. Huh. All right. Well, I guess that's like the best ending we could possibly get. So, stop here. Yeah, I'm learning a lot of morality. Like, tattle on people, be safe, don't use a screwdriver to loosen someone's wheels on their rollerblade so that they almost get killed. Don't do stuff like that. If someone's unconscious because they smash into a tree, stop and help them. Don't just keep on racing by and hope and just be like, someone else is going to take care of it. Don't worry. Oh yeah, mind games. Like rich people like to play mind games on poor people. No physics. Yeah, we learned a lot in this one. So Thanks, Edward Packard. I learned a lot of valuable life lessons. All right. Well, my voice is starting to go a little bit. So I think we'll stop here. Yeah. Oh, sequel starts Ev. The sequel stars Ev and is called 14 Beers at Chili's. Thanks, Sue. Thanks for watching. All right, yeah. So I will of course be back next Tuesday, and we'll read another Choose Your Own Adventure. Oh, you're welcome, Stephanie. You're welcome, Caroline. And oh, you're welcome, Rachel. All right, I'll see you guys all later, and I hope you all have a great week. Take care. Bye.